Welcome to the PattyLynn Show. And here we are. I am PattyLynn. This is Myhriah.
Hello.
She is our CEO of G.A.L.S. And I just love having her here with me chatting about our topic. And our topic this month is budgeting, money management, and unindebtedness. I think I made that word up.
I think you did.
Because what would it be? Debt-free.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just want like one word, like unindebtedness. So
I love
that's
it.
a PattyLynnism, I think.
Perfect.
But so we are here in January and thinking about the Christmas budget. How did that go?
Ooh.
I have had years when I stayed to the budget or and then I've had years when I felt like I didn't buy enough presents. That's sad. I have years when I felt like I bought too many presents.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I don't go too crazy on the credit cards.
Yeah.
I do like to use a credit card. Kind of tracks it. If you do returns, you've got an automatic receipt to return.
Yeah.
It does, you can kind of see how much you spent. Mm-hmm. So I do like to use credit cards, and I think I use them wisely. Yeah. And then in January, when the bill comes, pay it off. Or I even have like shopped at a department store, walked to the back and paid off the bill.
Oh yeah.
So back when money was a little tighter and I just spent whatever, $60 and I walked to the customer service, say, I want to pay this off. Yeah. And just pay it off right then because I wanted it out of my checking so I wouldn't double spend that same money. So I think I've learned to do that a little more mentally now instead of the physical, I've got this much money, But there's no shame in doing that because it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you get deals from using those.
Right. That's why I did it.
100% against it. Right.
Right. And that's why I would do it. Because if you used your card, you got a discount. Or if you used your card, you got cash something.
Right.
Or there was a reason for using the card.
Yeah.
But then also I just want to pay it off.
Yeah. We prefer not to have debt, but we're not out of balance saying you can't ever use credit cards.
And there's things that make sense to have debt with.
Yeah.
Buying a car. Now, if you can save up and buy, I know the old idea that you buy a used car and then you pay it off. Maybe I don't know, nowadays, maybe can you get one for $2,000? Probably not a very good running one. No. So $4,000.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
$4,000, whatever. But if you can pay it up front, you've saved, you pay up front, then you could save your car payment. So you save that $600 or $800 in your savings and build up. And then you can sell that car, buy a nicer car with your savings. So you are like practicing doing a payment, but you're buying the cars outright. So, I mean, there's ways to do that. We haven't actually really done that. We did buy a brand new car once when we were first married. Back in the day, the auto show would give really good deals.
Oh.
So it made sense at that time to buy it. I think they've stopped doing that, but it was like, it's the best time to buy a car.
Huh.
So we did buy one.
Well, there you go.
But anyway, I lost my train of thought. We're talking about credit cards. So we're not talking about credit cards. We're talking about how your Christmas budget went.
Yeah.
So use credit cards wisely. Side point. And, how did your Christmas budgeting go? I know. I think it's always you just want to spoil those you love. And they put stuff on sale, but just keeping it within range. So we are going to talk more about this topic. Then also in this show, we have party tips with PattyLynn.
Yes.
And so I've got some party tips for us. That's our new segment.
I love it.
And should I do some icebreaker questions?
Some icebreaker questions. Yes.
Okay. So this is where we want to hear from you.
In the comments. Yes.
Okay. This is a funny question. What's your favorite vice?
Because we must have a favorite
vice. A favorite vice. So I think, have you ever heard like people watch shows and they call it their guilty pleasure? Right. So I think maybe I would say that more like, what's your guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sitting right in front of us is one of ours, these chocolate Milano cookies, right? Or whatever.
Food.
So what, is a little sweet treat, favorite vice. But, vice kind of says,
I have that because living where I live, unfortunately, we haven't found restaurants that we love yet. Hopefully that will happen.
Yeah.
So when I come here, I unapologetically want to eat out all the time because I know where I'm going to get good food and I love it. And so then I'm only here quarterly. So I want to eat.
Nowadays, yes.
So-
well, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
your favorite vice is eating out when you're in town.
When I'm in town.
And then, of course, going with our budgeting, I'm sure you
Yes.
plan ahead and know or pay it off later.
Yep.
Sometimes we have to
We do.
balance this way. But
Yes.
yes. Okay. So favorite vice.
Does PattyLynn have any vices? But
I just feel like I don't want to say it.
Oh.
But, in the spirit of authenticity, I will answer this question. Don't judge me. You may call me about it. I will talk about it. But no, I think people have asked me before, like, what's your favorite swear word? It was even like on a questionnaire once. And I'm like, I'm going to answer this. But occasionally I will say a swear word. And some friends were like, really, you do? But yes. And I have to say I like it. And I don't really do it like when I'm angry, but like just it's like so expressive, and I should probably think of a word that's maybe not one of those bona fide bad words that, that I could say to be so expressive, but sometimes. So if you see me in person, I'll tell you what my favorite bad word is.
Okay. I feel like it's a well-placed curse word. Sometimes
so I'm sorry to say that's probably one of my favorite. I don't know. So vice. Funny. Vice is hard. Favorite vice.
Vice. I know.
Actually, at school this year, last year we had like the in-service, and we kind of talked about what are the virtues. And we're teaching our children diligence and things you teach. And so this year we're actually saying what are the vices. It's kind of fun to study the vices. So vainglory, which is different than pride. Vainglory is wanting people to notice you, to get those likes and followers, which we want likes and followers.
Right.
So the whole month after I learned about like vainglory,
yeah.
Oops. So maybe that's my favorite vice, getting likes and followers. I should have said that first.
We'll allow it.
Let's go to a different question, shall we?
Yeah, let's
okay. Which do you value more, organization or spontaneity?
Ooh. I could go with either one, honestly. I wish that I was more organized. And but then there's times I'm not very spontaneous. So I'm right in between.
I think you're probably pretty balanced.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. It's not like organization, disorganization, because then we choose organization. It's not spontaneity or schedule. Right. I think that's a better question. Which do you value more, your spontaneity or sticking to a schedule? That's kind of more. But to say organization or spontaneity, well, I probably value spontaneity.
I do like when I
however,
can be spontaneous, but
I want to be organized because it takes a lot of time and effort not to be organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And organization is something I work at. And I've even taught about it, but people will say, you're so organized. I'm like, well, I work on it.
Yeah. But there is something beautiful about being able to be spontaneous, right?
Yes.
Like someone just says, hey, let's do this. I wish it didn't take me so much time to like think through, overthink it. And just say, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. Yeah. As well.
I love to live in the present.
Yeah.
And so spontaneity would be like, what do you want to do now? What should we do for dinner? I haven't planned dinner out for a month. As much as I talk about meal planning and it's a good idea, but also I don't know what should we have for dinner. What do we got?
Yeah, we actually have started being more organized.
I value spontaneity, I guess.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
Yeah, it is. I think balance is good in that. I think you should be, organized, but you should also allow room for spontaneity in your life.
Well, balance.
So, yeah, it's a balance. So good question, but really makes you think.
It does make you think. That's why I like those questions.
Yeah.
There's really no right or wrong answer. It's just fun to
chat.
Exactly. We're like, well, both good.
Yep.
Either way.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about that topic of budgeting. So, your budget is just your plan, how to spend your money, but it can feel like a mean boss telling you what to do and what not to do. And I don't really like people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
Especially now that you're an adult and you're an independent woman and someone tells you what to do and you just want to go, don't tell me what to do.
Your budget, don't do it.
budget that I wrote.
So you're rebelling against yourself.
If I want to buy this, I'll buy this. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. I'm the one who wrote the budget, right? I'm the one who decided. And I do like the big goals.
Mhm.
So if I can keep in mind, we want to save up to take that trip, or we're
Yes.
going to need a new fridge. You know, I don't really like buying appliances, but I would like a new, whatever fridge
Yeah.
or whatever you need. So, but it's hard when the budget says no.
Yeah. But I agree with you. If I have like a plan or a goal or something I'm actually going to do with that money versus we're just saving,
Mhm.
like that pie in the sky, we're just saving.
Mhm.
I'm much better at it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we know what your savings are for. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's value in that, but yeah.
Having a purpose.
Yeah, but the budget is not your enemy. It is
No.
actually your friend.
Yes.
Feels like it, but
And if you're going to be a powerful woman, you gotta have a budget. There's
there you
just,
go.
no way around
Yep.
it.
This year we're talking about the power
Yeah.
of gals, right?
Yeah.
The power of gals. And so being a powerful woman, I like that.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, I know I've heard people talk about you don't have to have a budget. I just disagree. I can't. I don't know. If you can do it, let us know. We want to hear your tips. But
So I think there might be a type of person who doesn't have to have a written budget,
yeah,
but you've got to know
you've at least got
where your money is going to
Yeah.
go, unless you have some kind of unlimited resources and
That's not
that-
us.
money grows on a tree in your backyard.
Yeah.
That's not us. That's not
No.
us.
No. Or
And it's probably not you.
or maybe some would
that's
be
some-
against saying written because maybe they keep it in some sort of technology, but that's still tracking.
Right. Yeah.
You got to
Tracking.
track what you're spending. Yes.
Yeah.
Tell your money
Yeah.
where it's going.
Basically, you need to not spend more than you make. You need to know where you're spending your money. You need to have savings for the future.
Mhm.
If you have debt and you have plan for paying down debt, getting out from under that burden of
Mhm.
debt and those interest charges and late fees, and then you need to have a nest egg. So whether you're saving for retirement, which, probably not that many years away. I keep asking. I actually keep asking my husband, when do we retire? How many more years? Like, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, keep working.
Yeah.
Emergency fund.
Mhm.
Just having a slush fund that you're able to help someone in need. Like our gals group loves to have some kind of a charity that we're doing at Christmas time. We gave
Mhm.
to a woman and her daughters who were in a shelter because they were homeless at the time. And so we said, what can we do? Well, you got to have some, if you've spent all your money, you can't give to others,
Yeah.
so you want to be charitable. And then your kids might be going to college,
Yeah.
So
You might have a rainy day.
rainy day.
As they call it.
Right.
Yeah.
There is some kind of a budgeting rule, 50, 30, 20, where 50% are your needs. And the other
Mhm.
50%, you can spend 30 on things you want and 20% for savings.
Mm. It's a
So,
good rule of thumb.
yeah. And that doesn't really have charitable. A lot of times people will say 10% for charity.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
keeping that in there. But, you got to know your why. What are you saving for? That wedding or trip or
Or a house or a remodeling.
house, new car, remodeling. Right.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All
And
the fun
then what
things.
kind of help do you need with that? Do you need to talk to a mentor, someone who's been through it?
Mhm.
Get some financial counselor sometimes, worksheets. There's a lot of things online.
Yes.
Know how much your income is, know how much your fixed spending is, and know how much your debt payments are.
Yeah.
So once you get that, then you can kind of figure out the non-essential items. And our wants, eating out,
Mhm.
coffees,
Yeah.
entertainment budget, travel, hair.
Mhm.
I know people want to argue with me on this. These are wants. You want hair,
Yes.
nails,
Yes.
makeup. And, but yet those come out of the 20%. They're not your necessities.
Mhm.
And I've gone back and forth with doing my nails
Yeah.
because it's a splurge.
Yeah.
And I think I would like to do lashes, but it's too big of a splurge for me,
Mhm.
so just kind of figure out what you can and what you can't. And, I'll do my nails for 6 months and they'll be like, oh, nails are so expensive. And I won't do it for a while. I'm like, I really want to have nice nails, whatever.
Mhm.
You got to just figure out where your money's going. So those are your non-essentials.
I think it's like one key that helped me, because we have been in that place where, my husband's been laid off, or, we've had those moments, when we really need to cut back, looking at like, what would we cut back if we were in this scenario? And there's a lot you can cut back on. I remember we actually were right around Christmas time. And that year we even said, hey, family, we're not buying gifts for people, which can really, like what you're saying, people fight with you about something.
Yeah.
Not buying gifts. Nope. Yeah. We didn't do it. I think we might have made something for everybody that year, but still we didn't.
I used to make chocolate covered pretzels. As a gift, Yeah. I made this for you. Banana bread, pumpkin bread.
Yeah. Doesn't cost much.
Yeah. It's something, it conveys a gift, but we were broke at the time. Yeah. So we do have a couple stories for you.
Yay.
So, what to do if you're in the red? So when we were first married, we had a chunk of debt. We did get a little help for our wedding, but mostly we paid for our own wedding. We both had school loans. We had credit cards, debt from our wedding. Then we had moved to a new state. Once we got to the new state, Ken was not able to find a job right away. And so we would go to a grocery store and charge groceries on a credit card. And it felt terrible. But we're just like, we have to have food, And then we had finally, for him to get a job, there was an agency he went through, but he had to pay. Sometimes the employer pays, but to get a job, he had to pay the agency, I don't know, couple $1,000s to find him a job, And so it felt terrible.
Yeah.
We were under this burden of debt. And so eventually we're living in the basement at my sister's house with their cats and the laundry machine and the diapers soaking, and it was not ideal. But we eventually got jobs and we found an apartment we moved into, and we said we've got to pay off our debt because we wanted to have a baby and we wanted to buy a house. And then we had to make a decision, okay, first we got to pay off debt. Then we got to decide, which are we doing? We're going to have a baby or we're going to buy a house, because we can't do both right now. So we, in order to pay off our debts, we did something called crunch months. And basically it just meant we did nothing. We went to work and we came home and we made dinner and we had a few board games. We played those board games. We had Rummy Cube, and we had, we didn't have a TV at the time. We had, what's another game we had? Stack 4. Like it's kind of like Scrabble, and it stacks up or something. Not Stack 4, but anyway, some kind of Scrabble game.
Yeah.
And then we'd read books and go for a walk, but we couldn't go to once a month. Maybe it was once a week, but we did go to movies, but it was a $1.50 movie. So back in the day, $1.50 movie theaters that played the stuff you probably could get on a video because it was an old movie, but you'd watch 2 shows. So we'd get there and we watched 2 movies back to back, and it was our date night.
I love it.
And it cost us $1.50 each or something.
Right.
So,
perfect.
But other than that, I mean, we didn't spend money on anything except needs. We didn't eat out. We didn't buy clothes. It was no fun. We were just sick of it because it just felt like we had no money. Well, we had no money.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to keep going into debt. So eventually we did find a $30 TV at a garage sale. So we got a TV. But that year we paid off, I think it was like $10,000 in debt.
Wow.
It's like $1,000 a month.
That's
we paid
a
off.
lot.
Yeah. And we, it was good. I think that was the amount we had gone into debt with all that move. I don't know. But so then our big decision. So should we have a baby or should we buy a house? Do you know which one we chose?
I'm going to say baby.
Yeah, I was 30. And we said, got to have the baby. And we can have a baby in an apartment.
Yep.
And we did.
Yep.
And then, we were blessed with Ken working hard and the good jobs. And we bought a house that was a ramshackle, tumble down house. And we remodeled it and, sold it. And anyway.
Aw.
The rest is history. No, but it was hard work and it was no fun. And in those early years, we would write a budget and it would never work out. We'd write out how much money come in, how much money we needed to spend. And then we'd say, well, I need a haircut and I need whatever. We'd write it down and we were always in the red. And how do we write a budget when we don't have enough money for it?
Yeah.
But somehow, and I think it's the provision of God, we didn't go hungry. We worked hard. We did nothing fun.
I don't know. Playing board games together sounds
we
pretty
went
fun.
nowhere. I'll just say we went nowhere. And, anyway, we got creative. It was discouraging and defeating, but we got creative. We survived. We got out of debt, and that feels great. Yeah. It was worth it.
Does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, we've been there too. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that because we've all been in some place where we haven't had money. Like, you just don't have it. And so you can't, like, you go into debt maybe for, using your cards because you don't have any cash. And I mean, we've been there too, like I said, Alex has been laid off and we've had no money, and it's like, who's going to get paid this month? Who's not? And when we finally were able to get out of debt, though, was beautiful. Like, not having to listen to Alex have to decide who was going to get paid, who wasn't, arguing with collectors and all the different things. Like, letting go of that stress was so worth it. It was hard. It was so hard, but it was so worth it. And now, should I go into the rest of our story?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I mean, we're writing our life. We're writing our story. Being able to choose 2 years ago that we're like, you know what? We're young. Yeah. Or we're going to be empty nesters. We weren't yet. And let's go live in some places. Let's go decide where we want to be. And so we wrote out some states. We actually ended up with 10. We had some criteria. Mine was rattlesnakes. I didn't want any.
No rattlesnakes. Not rattlesnakes.
I didn't want to have them. No rattlesnakes. We had criteria. So our 10 states, and we started sending out resumes, and Utah popped up. So we're super excited. And honestly, because we learned to budget small, it was beautiful when we needed to budget big, because we did make some good money off of our home that we sold. Yeah. And, somebody asked us at one point, do you feel rich? And we're like, no, because all that money is already allocated to all the things that we need to do. And it wasn't bad. It's not like, we paid off our debts. We're building a downstairs apartment for Alex's parents. We got mountain bikes. We're going on we went on a crazy vacation to Disney World, which was an empty nester gift to each other. I mean, the things that we've been able to do, but we didn't just blow it, and I know, had we not learned to budget that small amount first, that money would have just been blown, because we did it so many times before, where it was all of a sudden like, where'd all that money go that we had? Where'd it go? Right. It's just gone. Right. And so
been there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So telling your money where it's going to go has been huge. And now we're doing it on a completely different level. Yeah. And it's really fun. So
it is good. And I understand, like, do you feel rich? No, but we feel blessed.
Yes,
right.
We definitely feel
because,
blessed.
No, not rich, and I can't go buy anything I want. But because and my husband's so good at savings.
Yeah.
And I know there's a retirement. I don't even worry about it. Right.
Right.
Some of my paycheck goes into some retirement, and then he does all the rest. And I just, we have talked about it, but I also know that I can just trust him, and I can use my brain for other things.
Yeah.
So, and then having a savings, I put money in savings every month, and he does too. And then when we have a home remodel, or need a new vehicle, we talk about it. What is going to be the decision here?
Yeah.
And then as you save and your job has incrementally got some raises, or you've moved up to a new position or something, then you can have bigger things than back in your 30s, Right. So I think that there is hope. There is also hard times, I know through 2020 and COVID, and those were tight times for people. Whether it be like not enough work hours. And I know the government tried to help with the money that they pitched in and all, but still they were hard times.
Yeah.
And hard times can come again. So, but just having that nest egg helps. So savings. So you have your income minus your spending, and then you've got your savings. And some of that is long-term saving, and some of that might be your nest egg that you can use use for something.
And I want to make sure that I share a really great resource. If you don't know much about budgeting, is Financial Peace University is really great. You don't have to listen to everything they say, but it's some good budgeting basics. And then the Automatic Millionaire. If you don't know anything about investing or how to put your savings or any of that stuff, great resources to be able to get started.
Good. Thank you. That's really great, because just start there, and there's lots of things out there. So if you want to not spend money, one tip is to stall. So, before buying, think, do I already have something that does this at home? Or can I do without it? Or can I just fix the old one? So I needed some boots this year. And I said, oh, they're fine. And I wore them. They're my black dress boots. And I wore them on a rainy day, and my feet got wet.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, okay, they did look fine, but apparently they were cracked somewhere. So I walked around all day with wet socks, and I came home and went, I do need new boots. I was trying to decide, can I do without another gear? No. Right. So and then of course, when am I going to buy it? I waited till Black Friday, and the $80 boots go on sale for $20, like every year. So I got my new boots, $80 boots, got to pick what I wanted for $20. So,
Beautiful.
So it's on a budget, but it might look like that PattyLynn. She gets new $80 boots every year. Yes, maybe. Maybe if my feet are wet. So, and then, save what you can and stick to it, to get an accountability partner, those kind of things. So it is hard to pay off those credit cards. And there's a lot of some of those resources you said, but a lot of advice as to how to get those payments down. Yes. And, you got to face the balance. What are we in debt for? What do we owe? Right. Yeah. And then I like to write out like the debt, when's the due date, and how much interest am I paying on this card?
Oh yeah.
And some people say cut up your cards. I don't know that you actually have to cut them, but don't stop growing that. Right.
Right.
And, sometimes I know a friend, again, back in our 20s, and she had a little baby, and that she was like, he needed sweatpants. I had to buy it. I'm like, yeah, but you can't go into debt for sweatpants he's going to grow out of. But there are other resources. We loved hand-me-arounds, find other friends, and when your kids grow out of clothes, trade them around. Yep. And then the Goodwill, you can find some good things that little babies have hardly worn and grown out of. Yeah. And then your church and other organizations have been great. When we were charging groceries, we actually, someone at church found out, and they took us to Safeway, and they said, buy what you need. And I did. And then they paid for it on the church credit card, or debit card, or whatever it was. But it was out of their, what do you call that? Whatever charitable gift,
giving,
benevolent fund. I think churches call it, but other organizations. I know there's a bunch that have that. So there is some help out there for during those tough years. It used to be you could consolidate your cards. You find one with a 0% interest for a year, and you consolidate. I don't know if they still have those kind of offers. That's what we did when we were paying it off. We would get a new card that was 0% interest for a year. We'd put all our other debt on it. Then you're paying 0 interest, and you can work at paying that off. So sometimes you can find that kind of a deal. I don't know if it still is as much as it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say pay off your most expensive debt first. So that's the debt with the highest interest, and pay as much as you can on that, and pay the minimums on the others. And then when that's paid off, then you take that amount you've been paying and pay it on the next highest interest card, because the interest is what gets you.
Yeah. We've done it other ways too, where we've done the highest amount, or just whatever works for you. I think is what it really comes down to. Whatever you will do.
We'll just do it.
I think the last time we did it was which one took the most out of our pocket monthly. And we got that paid off, because we were like, good, that puts that much more in our pocket, like you're saying. And then we put it towards the next one. Yep. So there's multiple ways to do it. Yeah.
And then try to avoid those late fees.
Yeah.
So that's why I always put down when it's due. If you get a late fee, call and talk to customer service.
Do call.
Almost every time I have called, they reverse it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to abuse that, but
as long as
it
you
happens
don't do it
a couple
regularly.
times a year.
Yeah.
I miss it, and I call and say, and it's almost automatic now. They're like, oh, you're going about late fee? Okay. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. But don't make it a habit.
No. But if you do, call them.
Yeah, do call.
Yeah. And then they say if you get like a bonus or an increase at work, take that money and put it on your debt. So I don't, I have credit cards that I use and pay off monthly. But what I did with my last pay raise is I started putting that amount. I figured out how much I got for a raise and I put it in savings.
Oh, there you go.
Because something's going to come up. I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
But if I leave it in my bank account, I probably will just be like, oh, spend. I had some money. So I didn't want to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Those increases, you're not expecting it. So why not just use it for something positive?
You haven't been living on it. Right. So.
Yeah. Budgeting is one of those things that you definitely need to know how to do, but you also have to figure out what works for you because everybody's different.
Yeah. And I hope that these tips have not seemed like I know it all. I definitely have been down this journey. And I'm not like, I've arrived at the other side and I never have any money worries now, because that's not true either. So I'm trying to be encouraging and positive, of course. But also, I don't want to come across as I have no money problems. And I used to, but I'm better now. So anyway, please don't take it that way.
We still have plenty of money.
We're all in this together, and life is expensive, and gas is expensive, and we have to choose where we spend our money because it's not unlimited. Or flowing out of savings easily.
Right.
So please know as we're sharing our stories.
No, we don't have it perfectly figured out. So now that we talked about all of that, do you have a party tip for us?
We do.
Yay!
It is now time for Party Tips with PattyLynn. And the party tip today is about what kind of parties can you have at your house? So now I could go on and on, but a lot of times it's fun to have a theme. So I know for us, sometimes we get in the place where we're not having enough people over. Right. And I'm going to talk a little later about kind of how to host. I think I have that written up for next month, like how to host and have people over. But when you have them over, then what kind of things to do? I love a good potluck. For one thing, it's not too much on the hostess. And even like Thanksgiving this year, I'm going to call and say, it was just my sister and I getting together. And so I just said to her, what do you bring? What am I bringing? I'm not just coming as a guest, especially family, but it's just like, I don't expect the hostess to do it all. And so potluck is so great. And you can have a theme like a chili bake-off or a baked potato bar. You ever had those? Where, the host cooks up the baked potatoes and then everyone gets assigned you bring shredded cheese and you bring sour cream and you bring bacon bits or meat gravy or, whatever to put on these potatoes.
We like to do those with double deckers, homemade double deckers.
What's a double decker?
Oh, you don't know double decker?
Wait, do I?
It's the hard shell taco inside of the soft shell taco, but we have everybody bring different ingredients. We usually do the meat and cheese.
So a taco bar.
Yeah.
But you put the hard
and then
shell?
you do want like a good sour cream, beans, guacamole. You put those all in the soft one and then you fold it and then you put all the yummy ingredients inside. Oh my gosh, they're huge. They're just so good.
Okay, that sounds good. So
good
a
stuff.
soft taco, crunchy inside.
Yeah.
Okay, I never heard of that. Okay, but I do know of a taco bar. I do love a good taco bar.
Basically,
or in the summer, a salad bar.
Yeah, any kind of food
the
bar.
bar. Any kind of a potluck kind of thing. So yes. So that's a dinner party, and then and it gives a theme. So it's kind of fun to have it being barbecue. Barbecue people do barbecues all the time, and
always.
But then you have game night, and so you can do charades. You can just get some kind of a game cards. There's a Pictionary is fun to do. It's kind of old school, I think, but it's hilarious and it's a team sport. So I kind of like the charades or the Pictionary because it's a team sport. But you can also do cards, dominoes, other board games.
There's so many games out now. So many.
Yeah. There's some edgy games, Truth and Dare.
Yep.
5 fingers. We say, if you've ever skinny dipped, put down a finger,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Never played
If
that
you've
one.
ever, okay, put your fingers.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
ever skinny dipped? Put down a finger.
No. I can't say I have.
You need to find a good
can't
lake. Come on,
remember.
you need to find a good
Or I
Utah
can't
lake.
remember if I did, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I would remember.
Okay, what? Now you do one. If you've ever
Oh my goodness. I can't even think of
seen
anything.
a snake. I don't know.
Oh, I've seen a snake.
Anyway, I prepare
Okay.
for that,
Yeah.
apparently, because,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
Have some good questions already
Yeah.
figured out.
What was the other edgy game I was thinking of? Or the drinking. Have you ever, never, ever, have I ever?
Oh yeah.
It's, as someone who's, you know, a little dyslexic, I'm always like, never have I ever. So if I have, do I?
Right.
Yes,
Can
or
we just say
I'm-
like I've never?
That's what I call it. I said, have you ever? That's what I
Have you
call it.
ever?
Hey, have you ever jet skied?
Yeah.
You know, because I can't figure that out, the question. So
Yes.
then this is better because it's only 5 things.
Yes. Good to go.
Karaoke night.
I love karaoke.
I love when
night.
Myhriah hosts karaoke night. We've done few, and she even has her own game that she made up with some karaoke and some truth or
Yes.
dare and some trivia, and super
It is
fun.
It's
we
my
need a
favorite way
gals
to karaoke
night. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super fun. So, and then just whatever you can do on these like game nights. So you got dinner party, game night, and then whatever you can do to make it easy. So it's not about the big food.
Mm-mm.
You know, if you pick a theme, it seems like it is, but it's really about people getting together.
Yes.
So just getting your people together, hosting the nice party, and, you know, having a fun time with friends
I
or
love
new
that.
friends.
Didn't she just make that sound so easy? Yes.
Yes.
Why she's the party. That's why she's party led. I love it.
So
All right. Well, thank you.
thank you for joining in. And I hope you've heard some practical skills for positive living. And we hope you'll join us next time.
And I keep forgetting, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.
All the things.
All the things.
Okay.
Bye.
I love you.